Hello, my sweet and lovely Aquarius. This is your horoscope for May 2025. First half of May will be a bit of a bumpy ride. Second half of May will be a blessing. Now, universe will reward us for patience with all these retrograde planets ever since 2025 started. Now, let's begin with the May 4th. Right from the beginning, Pluto goes retrograde in your first house. Now, Pluto is situated in your sign since November last year, and it will be there for the next 20 years. Pluto is a slow moving planet, so it moves only since November until third degree of your sign. So if you have placements from first to third degree, you will feel this retrograde the most because Pluto will iron out backwards now from third to the first one. Now, retrograde motion is meaning slowing down, going backwards. And, Pluto is a transformation planet. If you haven't watched the video about Pluto in your sign, I have a whole separate video on that with detailed predictions. I'm sure you can find it if you're interested. Now, here I would like to mention that now this planet is going backwards until October 14. Now you will have a time to revise so far what you've started back in November. For example, you've started some project because it's a first house, it can be anything related, like any part of your life, of your chart, because it's the first house, it's me house. And it might be that you started some personal project or maybe some plan that you want to accomplish. But May will this Pluto, in May will hit as a revision, as a pause, as a stop. Now you need to look what is so far working and what is not. And for some of you guys, it might be second act, like you've started, let's say something, for example, work, or you're planning to move abroad, for example, and you started packing the documents, gathering it, and even trying to find some options how to move to some other countries. And now from May until October, there will be some second sort of message from this planet. Like you've submitted, let's say, documents to those instances where like for visa or travel issues, and those now, institutions, they will reply, for example, or they might ask for an additional documents or some paperwork. Now, whatever it is related, it might be that there is a second act, or it might be some pause. Now you will need to regroup, sort of. And most probably it's related to your career, 10th house. Pluto rules your 10th house naturally. So it's most probably related to your career. A lot of Aquarius is now thinking further, is that what you do is actually like your thing, You might be in the thoughts of like, what's your life calling? What is true your like life calling? Is it the thing that does this job make you satisfied? Is it like you want to do this for the next 10 years, for example, or whole life? So a lot of you guys already since November might have been thinking about changing, completely dropping whatever you are doing career wise and changing to radically something different. Now, time to reassess where you're headed, my dear Aquarius, career wise. And also it's about social status, 10th house. And it might be that, you are also, some of you guys might have been in deep transformational thoughts about your relationship status, like marriage or parenthood in general, all this, social labels that is on us and on you particularly. So you've been maybe thinking about the future of your marriage, for example, or if you're in divorce situation in general, your singlehood or like parenthood, all these things might come up as a background noise, during Pluto retrograde. Now let's talk about this bumpy full moon. May 12th, we have full moon, a bit difficult one to navigate. which will happen in your house of career, the highest point of your chart. Now, those of you who are born 9th of February, you will be, affected the most, plus or minus 5 days, because this full moon is appearing at 22nd degree. Now, I call this full moon something surprisingly finishing, abruptly ending, some culmination there, or revealing itself, some message, some shocking message. But, at the moment, it might not be pleasant, but you should remember that this full moon, it's about destiny. And in the long run, whatever will happen around this full moon is beneficial for you. So, at the moment when things will be happening, events will be unfolding, and this shocking news might hit you, you might not be happy. But after some time, when you will look back, you will be satisfied that things went exactly this way and things fall exactly on this way, like let's say places. So here, no need to be sort of disappointed. Universe has your back, my dear Aquarius. Now, full moons are about culmination. Now, in a 10th house, and Uranus is in your 4th house. Why it's a shocking? Because Uranus, your ruler, planet of surprises and shocking revelations, which is situated in your house of family, will be directly opposing that full moon. Now, not a sweet, not at all pleasant aspect. Something might be going on, for example, between your parents. For example, they all of a sudden, they might shock you that they are divorcing, for example, or that it's about like some sort of your social status is ending. It might be your marriage is ending, like your husband or wife shockingly tells you that they want to end this, for example, marriage and relationship. Or it might be about career, like your company might announce that they are going bankrupt and very soon you're going to lose your job. And it might be also relocation, or someone at home might be relocating, like most probably your father or mother, like they are getting promotion or some job offer and they are announcing that they are going to some other country to live there, to immigrate, for example. Or it might be you also shocking everyone with this news, for example. Now, for some of you guys, it might be about real estate, some situation. If you have been involved in this sort of real estate situation, either buying or selling, or maybe getting an inheritance, again, this news might hit as a surprise one, not pleasant one, that you might lose that, for example, real estate, or something's wrong about that purchase, or whatever you're selling, piece of land, for example. Pluto, ruler of this full moon, which is in your sign, will be in harsh argument with Mercury. Now, Mercury is a communicator, so it seems like whatever is coming up, you won't like it. And someone from your family, you might have a heated argument with someone, especially with your mother. It might be your mother, and it might be related to children. For example, let's say you and your partner, you and your husband or wife decided to get divorced just because you didn't agree. Let's say you couldn't agree, like you couldn't manage to agree on situation whether to have kids or not, in general, about conception journey. For some of you guys, it might be the situation, because it's about, again, your family is here involved, either it's your situation, either someone from your family, and you might be directly opposing whatever idea is coming up. So around this full moon, mid-May, try to exercise patience and try not to get involved, like jump into conclusions quickly. So not to face the wall, because Mercury will send you quite a lot of shocking messages and it might get easily heated up here. So better to stay quiet and more observe. Now, as I said, Either it's about some family situation or your situation there, but you will have support. Now, North Node, as I said, that in the long run, it's a beneficial thing. And Saturn together that are located in your financial house, seems like your finances are like fine, whatever will be happening. For example, you're getting divorced, but then still you will have your job to support you, or like, financially you are secure, whatever will be going on here, my dear Aquarius, is even if you will not get that inheritance, still you are doing fine money wise. So, Saturn sort of will be your angel, because it will be sending together with destiny node amazing trine to that full moon, and will try to mitigate with Uranus, your ruler. Will try to negotiate. Now, May 25, we have big thing going on. Saturn, this, your guarding angel this month, moving into your third house until September 1st. So basically, whole 3 months of summer, it will be giving you preview, because after September, it will go back into your second house where it was for the last 3 years, and to wrap up some things, to give you final lessons about how to earn money, how to save money, or how to invest money, and in general, how to manage your financial situation. And even reward some of you guys for your patience, for your hard work for the last 3 years. Yes, Saturn is, it's a strict teacher of universe, but it's also a very rewarding planet. Just before it leaves the, a sector of your life, it likes to leave some big surprise, amazing gift there. So it will go back into your second house to do that, and will be back into your third house on Valentine's Day 2026 next year, for long 3 years. Now, so whole summer, Saturn will be giving you hints of what it is bringing into your third house area. Saturn is a slow moving planet. It takes 29 years to make whole circle. So if you're at that age, you might recall back 29 years ago when Saturn was in your third house. How was your life back then? And now it's coming back to that same position, and it will stay there for 3 years. If you are young, then it might be the transit of your childhood. Now, Saturn naturally rules your 12th house and moving into your third house. Now, both these houses are travel houses. And it seems like, Saturn in the next 3 years, as soon as Saturn came close to your third house, even before entering, like even now, like in April or in May, you might already received some news that, for example, you will have to travel back and forth some short distances. Maybe it's because of work, or maybe you will be visiting someone, or it might be that you bought some hotel business, for example, on an island, and you will have to be like on both places to manage that hotel, like, I don't know, 6 months there, 6 months here at home. Like, it's back and forth movement. And in some cases, it might actually restrict your movement. Now, third house is a short distance travels, and whatever Saturn touches, it makes it restrictive, smaller. So here, for some of you guys, you might even stop doing that. Like, let's say if before that kind of work was, you've been doing that kind of work, now Saturn will tell you to more spend home, time home, and be surrounded with your friends. And about your friends, third house is about our close friendships. It's about those people who we talk daily, and it's our neighbors, it's our brothers and sisters, and also social circle, which are very close to us. And it seems like it will be shrinking. It seems like your world will be now not on a, window is sort of narrowing down. Like, seems like Saturn here will clean up space from within your social circle. It might be painful, but it is good. At the end, it will release you from people who are not serving you anymore good, whose role is finished in your life, and they will be going. A lot of people will be falling out from your life, and only those who pass the test of Saturn, who are loyal, who are true to you as friends and as neighbors and as people who can trust, will stay. And believe me, they will stay for a long, long life with Saturn, because Saturn is a no joke planet. That's why it will clean up the space there, and you might end up actually having one or two or even three only close people to you. But those people will be the most valuable, believe me. Now, in some cases, now Saturn here is also about, some news. Third house is project. It's about communication and language. You might start learning language. For example, you relocated somewhere, or maybe you married some foreigner, let's say, or because you started your, I don't know, education in some other country, but then you don't speak the language of that country. Or maybe companies sent you somewhere to work, and or maybe take up some project where, like, your team members, they speak only very different language than yours, and you will have to somehow communicate with them. So seems like you've already started, or you're going to start learning languages, my dear Aquariuses. And believe me, it won't be easy with Saturn. Saturn is a work planet, work hard. So seems like it will take a long time, but it will stay with you, that language. No worries on that. If you're gonna learn it, you're gonna, be proficient in it. And also, it's all about the skills, short term learning skills. Like, it might give you some lessons. Maybe you will need to upgrade your skills, like professionally, or some of you guys might start driving. For example, third house is about transportation, like buying a car and even going to driving classes, for example. Anyhow, I'm gonna make whole separate video here, so stay tuned on that. Now let's talk a little bit about amazing new moon happening May 27. Now here, and about Saturn in your third house, lastly, I want to add here briefly that it might be your, siblings. If you have siblings like brothers and sisters, Saturn is about responsibility. So it might bring some responsibilities to your siblings or to you. For example, you need to take care of them for one or another reason, or they might get married, or they are becoming parents. It's a huge responsibility. So sort of responsibility is knocking on their door, which is affecting you too, my dear Aquariuses. Now, coming back to new moon, which is happening in your happiest part of your chart, fifth house. Those of you who are born 24th of January, plus or minus 5 days, you will be affected the most, because this new moon is hitting your 6th degree. New moon is a new energy, and Pluto will be, which is situated in your sign, will be amazingly supporting that new moon. Amazing energies are happening by the end of May. Whatever you plan, in your head, or you've been planning, let's say something important like opening business, opening social media project, or registering or applying to something very important, do it around this end of May. It will be amazing. Now, new moon will conjunct Mercury, ruler of the new moon, and this Mercury will receive support from another two karmic planets, Saturn and Neptune. Those two are newly located in your third house of messages. Amazing. So it seems like you might get news about pregnancy, as an example, because fifth house is about creativity. That's what we create. We create babies too. That's why our children are here, and it brings joy. Seems like you will be very joyous. And Mercury naturally rules your conception house, my dear Aquariuses. A lot of you guys might get the news about pregnancy, or you might give birth around this time. Pluto naturally rules your social status house, which is like, now it might give you status as a parent or mom, like soon to become parent, let's say. And also, fifth house is about business. Some of you guys might start finally, like you open your business, your store, your online page, whatever it is related. Seems like you will be choosing the right date, my dear Aquariuses. Fifth house is also house of love, true love, especially those of you who are single. You will have amazing chance to meet your one and only, and that person most probably will have future, future possibilities, let's say, to become your better half and stay in your life very long time. So if you want to meet sort of your second half, then mingle jingle by the end of May, my dear Aquariuses. The house is also house of creativity, like hobbies, talents. It might be that it's a creative project. You might start, let's say, or find new ways how to monetize your hobbies, your talents. It might be about that, like especially if you actors or dancer or singer or model, or maybe you're completely changing. The example, as I said, that Pluto is giving you transformative journey in terms of career. Like you might be dropping out like whole build up career there, and you will start maybe by the end of May your new journey as in arts, as an example, because fifth house is about creativity, my dears. Now always check your rising sign and moon sign, because they all play out. Make sure to check them. Stay on the positive side in May. Love you all. Bye bye.